What's going on, everyone? This is Anthony Sharp with Sharp Moves. And now let me tell you something real quick. When my wife and I were in your shoes during our very first blue tape inspection, we had no clue what to expect. We walked in thinking everything looked done. And by the end of the day, we had over 60 pieces of blue tape on the wall, floor, trim, and you name it. And that's when I realized blue tape inspections aren't just a formality, they're your last real chance to make sure your home is finished the right way before your builder turns over the keys. So today, I want to break down the 5 most important things you should be mindful during your blue tape walkthrough. Things that I wish somebody had told me earlier. And hey, if you're new to this channel, kindly hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. Number 1, wall quality, texture, and paint inconsistencies. According to the National Association of Home Builders, when my wife and I did our first inspection, the very first thing we noticed was how the paint looked completely different, depending on where the light hit. And this is super common for new builds. And when you're doing your blue tape inspection, take your time to look for different angles. Sunlight reveals roller marks, drips, uneven spray patches, and mismatched textures. You'd be surprised how many builders miss small dents or nail pops in the drywall too, especially around the window frames and corners. What the NAHB says is that new construction walls should look uniform from a normal standing distance, and that means texture should match, coverage should be even, and no visible roller lines when viewed in natural light. And trust me, it's easier to fix this now while the painters are still on site rather than after you move in and start noticing things you missed. Number 2, floors, gaps, and transition levels. One thing my wife pointed out, and thank God that she did, was a tiny gap between the tile and the baseboard in the kitchen. And guess what? That tiny gap turned into a bigger problem: ants, drafts, and dirt getting trapped. During your inspection, walk through the house slowly and look for lippage, which is uneven tile edges, gaps between flooring and baseboards, loose planks or hollow spots, scratches from construction workers, uneven transition between the tile and the carpet or laminate. Floors should be level with tolerance, and transition should be smooth, and gaps should be properly sealed. Your floors get the most wear and tear in the house, so fixing it now will save you thousands later. Number 3, doors, cabinets, drawers, and alignment issues. One of the silliest but most common things that we found was a cabinet drawer that refused to close all the way. At first, I thought it was just tight, but no, this was actually installed crooked. And when you're doing your inspection, check every door for proper alignment and make sure they latch correctly. Cabinet doors should not rub, and drawers should open fully and smoothly. Closet doors should roll or slide evenly, and front doors, the weather stripping that should seal very properly. Make sure there's no sunlight coming through the front door. And by code, cabinet doors should be aligned within 1/16 of an inch. And builders know this. They just don't want to always go back and adjust everything. And this is your time to make sure it's done right. If you're finding this helpful, especially if you're getting ready for your blue tape inspection, do me a favor, share the love, and kindly hit the subscribe button. And drop a comment below if you're building a home, or if you're planning to move, or if you want me to check out a neighborhood or a builder for you. I'd love to be of service for you and your family. And number 4, electrical, lights, and outlets, and switch placements. Here's something a lot of families forget: testing every single light switch and outlet. When my wife and I were walking through, we found one room where 2 switches did absolutely nothing. The electrician forgot to connect the circuit, and during the inspection, bring a phone charger, test the outlets. And I get it. Home inspectors are great at what they do, and they will catch a lot of these things, but I always tell my home buyers, they're not buying the home, you are. I want you to turn on every single light and fan. Check the GFCI outlets in the bathrooms and the kitchen. Make sure the exterior lights work. Check if smoke detectors are installed and powered, and make sure the switches are labeled correctly. The National Electrical Code states that outlets should be operable, properly grounded before occupancy. If anything doesn't work today, it will get much more frustrating later on. So take your time, and builders actually expect you to test everything. Number 5, windows, seals, frames, and air drafts. This one's really big and easily missed. One of the biggest things that we missed during our first home was a small gap in the caulking around the window. One tiny gap caused water to slowly creep in during heavy rain. And believe me, you don't want to deal with that after you move in. So during your inspection, open and close every window. You want to check for cracks or chips in these windows as well, because after you move in, the builder's going to assume that you did it, not them. Look for inconsistent caulking around the windows. Check your exterior seals. Look for scratches or cracks. Check if the locks line up correctly on the windows. And place your hand around the frame and see if you feel any kind of draft or cold air coming through or warm air, depending on the season. Windows should be installed to prevent moisture intrusion and air leakage. And brand new homes need to be airtight to protect your energy bills. This is one of the most important areas, so please take your time here. Alright, so let's wrap this up. Today we cover the 5 most important things you should look for during your blue tape inspection: wall quality and texture in paint, flooring gaps and transition, cabinet and door alignments, electrical switches and outlets, and window seals and drafts. These are the things that my wife and I kind of learned the hard way, and I want you to avoid those same mistakes. Remember, this inspection is your last chance to get this home perfect before you move in. And if you don't want to miss the next tip, breakdowns, and real-world lessons about San Antonio real estate, hit that subscribe button. Again, this is Anthony Sharp, and I'd love to be the first to say welcome to San Antonio, and let's make your move a sharp one. This is Sharp Moves.